See, why does Durga inflict miseries on us? You all know Durga has a trishul, correct, no? With which she inflicts pains. So, this is a part of the previous PPT show, and I'm about to complete that, and then we go to the third one. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद द्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। See, you see in the right side picture, two things you are observing in the right side picture. One is a fellow is bound by the snake. You are seeing that? So, and then on the further right, you find the people coming down the steps and then gliding down to hell because of lust, anger, greed, and all those things. Huh? So, these people are tied by the ropes of Durga called the three gunas. Huh? Tamaguna, Rajoguna, Sataguna, ropes. And they are punished by Durga with a trishul. All of you repeat this. Krishna bole say jiva anadi bahir mukha atayeva maya tare deya samsara dukkha. Now who has the mic with you? Please read the translation, please.
By forgetting Krishna, the living entity has become materialistic since time immemorial. Therefore, the illusion energy of Krishna is giving him different types of miseries in material existence.
Here is the reason I said why we are all suffering. Because we have forgotten Krishna and we have turned our back to Krishna. Huh? And in this world we are indulging in various activities which bring suffering. Just like, for example, if there is a light, like sunlight, you face the sun, is there shadow in the sun? No shadow. You turn your back to sun, then you see shadow here. When you face the sun, no shadow. Which means in Krishna there are no faults. But when you show your back to Krishna, then you see all faults, all problems in this world. Please repeat another verse which is not given here. Janasya Krishna Vimukhasya Daivat Adharmashilasya Sudukkitasya. And then shloka goes on. See what is the meaning of this? Janasya Krishna Vimukhasya means what? Anybody knows Vimukh word? Huh? Turn, yeah. Janasya means Janta. Krishna and Vimukhasya means they turn their back to Krishna. The reason and the result of that is what? Adharmashilasya, he says. What is Adharmashilasya? They become irreligious. And the result is Sudukkitasya. Then they suffer dukkha. How many have understood the meaning? Very simple Sanskrit it is. How many have understood? Yeah, three things. First he says, Janasya Krishnat Vimukasya Adharmashilasya Sudukkitasya. Now how will you convert the Sudukkitasya into Susukkitasya? How can you make it? Huh? Turn face towards Krishna. Which is what all of you are doing now by coming to these classes, correct now? You have been practicing last 1 year. Now instead of showing your back to God and doing all nonsense, you turn towards God and you are going towards Him. The more you go towards Him, it's a life of increasing happiness, more and more. And you turn away from Him and go far away from Him, then more and more problem. Like Kaikeyi, when Rama was with her, she loved Rama very, very dearly. In Tamil, Kambaramayanam, it is mentioned that Kaushalya loved Bharata very much. Huh? And Rama was most loved by Kaikeyi. Although they are all co-wife's son, they had so much Vatsalya. Kaikeyi for Rama and Kaushalya for Bharata, like that. But later on, when that envy came in her heart, she wanted to send Rama far away, correct, no? When she sent Rama farther and farther away into the forest, the more and more she suffered after that, you will see. So you want to send Krishna far away or want to bring Krishna close to you? Then you become happy. That's the point. So here you see, this is a Brahman whose name was Ajamil. He went to forest to pluck flowers. But then there he saw this dirty scene of one low-class woman and man embracing and kissing and smiling. He hid himself behind a tree and watched that sight more and more. This is nowadays like you see in a computer screen, a pornography scene, like that. He watched it in the forest. The more you see, what happens? Is it proper? The more and more we keep seeing such things. What will happen if you see more and more? His lusty desire seeds became fructified in the mind. They grow more and more. When the seed, it's like a seed growing into a plant, into a tree. Then the lusty desire will dominate your heart, and you will be impelled to act. That's what happened with him. Later on, he brought the prostitute to his home, and you will all see the drama one of the days. They will do it. So he really became ruined in his habits and behavior, everything. That's how you'll see Durga in this world. Those who break God's laws, she punishes them. So in that sense, she is dangerous. Maya Mugdha Jiver Nahi Swata Krishna Jnana. Jivere Kripaya Kaila Krishna Veda Purana.
When a living entity is enchanted by the external energy, he cannot revive his original Krishna consciousness independently. Due to such circumstances, Krishna has kindly given him the Vedic literatures such as the 4 Vedas and 18 Puranas.
Yeah. So here you will see that because we are all covered over by Maya Shakti, still we have a chance to come out of it. How? Krishna has given us Ved, Puran, and everything. Kripaya Kaila. Krishna is very merciful to us. Although he went back to his spiritual abode, he didn't go away without giving us some chance to get out of this world. He has given Srimad Bhagavatam. Like that he is saying. See, although Durga appears to be cruel with the Trishul and all, she is sister of Krishna. You all know Subhadra, Jagannath Baladev. Who is Subhadra for Krishna and Balram? She's sister. So Durga's Subhadra's expansion is Durga. Prabhupada writes this in the book Elevation to Krishna Consciousness. You will read that. Subhadra's expansion is Durga. She is sister Tattva. So she's Krishna's sister. Anybody from South India here? In Tamil Nadu, there's a Madurai. Anybody has been to Madurai Meenakshi Amman Koil? Anybody here? So in Madurai, Meenakshi is green in color. She holds a parrot in her hand, and she is sister of Vishnu. So Vishnu is giving her in marriage to Shiva. You will see that. So whether Subhadra or Durga or Meenakshi or Chandi, Chamandi, Bhadrakali, Vaishnavi Devi, all of them are sister only. One person, one Devi only, called by different names, different places. So she takes active part in everything. In Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya. Like here you see, when Vishnu glances at her and hands over all the jivas to her, that glance is called Shambhu glance. Through the Shambhu glance, Shambhu is the one who is transferring jivas from Vishnu to the Devi. And then after that, the Devi, what she does? She will give all those jivas one body because she has the material energy with her. That is the Panchamahabhut. She will, just like chapati kata, you make this much, make one gola. She will insert one jiva and say, now run now. Go and do whatever you want to do. She makes one body, like these are all bodies. So we are in the womb of Durga in one sense because this material is given by her. And then she, with the help of Brahma, makes template for the 8.4 million species. So he has a template, she has a material. You put both together and then put one jiva inside and send it out. That's how we all are wandering in this world. So therefore Krishna says, Mama Maya Duratya. Anybody knows that verse? Daivi hi esha gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva ye prapatyante Maya metam tarantite. He says that she is my Maya only, Krishna says. She's under my control. Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti. See 9.10. So that means she works under Krishna's direction. See, she is folding her palms. Whatever he says, she will do. Once Krishna told her, transfer Balaram from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. And she says, Om, she says. And then she circumambulates Krishna 3 times. And then offers obeisances and she goes, which means she's an obedient sister of Krishna. So Krishna has put Durga Devi like our tuition teacher because we are all naughty students. We are not doing our studies. Any of your father put a tuition teacher to watch you? Any of you here? You had experience? There is some hands up, yeah. Isn't it? Why a father puts a tuition teacher? Father doesn't want to take a stick and beat you. Huh? Father feels, how can I beat my son? I love him so much. I'll appoint a tuition teacher and I'll close my eyes. Huh? Let she bring him to track. Huh? So in this way, Krishna has appointed Durga for purifying us. Huh? And then you will see, when you become obedient to Krishna, then you get introduced to Radharani. Huh? Radharani is actually a merciful potency. Huh? So, Radharani, you will see, Srimati Radharani, is she holding a trishul? What is she holding? Huh? On one hand, she has a garland to offer to Krishna. On this hand, what she is holding? A bouquet. Correct, no? That means in the spiritual world, Lakshmi Narayan, Sitaram, Radha Krishna, you see that Shakti is holding a bouquet in her hand. Huh? Durga is holding a trishul in her hand. So you can make a little connection and understand. If somebody is showing bouquet to you, what is the meaning? You go to a meeting, do they show you a bouquet or they show you a trishul on your face? Huh? Welcome. Bouquet means welcome. Correct, no? Trishul means? Huh? Trishul means get out. Correct, yeah. So now come back to your notes, morning notes you had. Now you'll understand this point. See, Prabhupada tells one story of, sorry. See, why does Durga inflict suffering upon us? Durga is supposed to be mother. But in this world, the Shakti, why does she inflict suffering? So this is a long story cut short, I'll tell you briefly. If any of you sitting here has the name Dhananjay, please forgive me. It's not about you, this story. Huh? It is another Dhananjay. Huh? Don't worry. So this Dhananjay, who is that fellow? One father had 10 daughters and one son. All of them got married. One day the father was celebrating a festival at home. And the festival was for 1 week or so, long festival. So all the daughters and son-in-laws came, everybody. And then they all stayed for a week and one by one they pushed off. But 4 or 5 of the son-in-laws were not leaving. Although it was 10 days were over, 12 days were over. The father became worried. How long can we take care of the son-in-laws? Huh? So the son said, because you are giving very special prasad, special feast you are giving every day. That's why they are not going. Huh? So he said, just give rice or sabji. Don't give any other item. No sweet, no chapati, nothing. Father made very simple food. Then another 2, 3 fellows, they left. But there was one fellow who was not leaving at all. His name was Dhananjay. One son-in-law. 3 weeks passed. Still he was sitting there, not going. So father said, what to do now? This fellow is not leaving at all. Therefore it is said, when a son-in-law goes to father-in-law's, house, he shouldn't stay for too long. Then the respectability will be lost. Huh? So he stayed 3 weeks. Then the son said, Papa, you cut down the sabji, give only rice and dal. Huh? Then still he was staying. Then he said, don't put namak also in the salt, salt also in the dal. And the son-in-law said, no problem, if salt is not there, I can always take more salt. He was still staying. The next day morning, what the fellow did, the son, when this Dhananjay was sleeping, he took a stick. When he was covered with the blanket, he bit him, pat, pat, pat. That fellow got up and ran away after that. Huh? So Prabhupada tells the story. Now what you have to do, you have to give the answer to this quiz now. Please give this. Who can say this? You can just verbally say that. Be smart enough to sense Maya's beating. Okay. So in this story, Dhananjay is who? On the right side? And the mic, take the mic.
One planning to stay in the material world.
Correct. And father-in-law's house?
Material world.
Material world, yeah. And son-in-laws who left? And devotees who plan to go back to God. Correct, no? Yeah. And good beating? Yeah. That is Maya. No. Good beating is threefold miseries offered by Maya. Correct. And brother-in-laws? Yeah, the brother-in-laws, only brother-in-law, only one person only. Because she had 10 sons and the man had 10 sons, 10 daughters and one son. That one son was the one who fed him. That is Maya, who punishes jivas. That's a match equivalent. How many of you understood this? It's clear to you? Yeah. See, read this. What is the cause of suffering?
What is the cause of suffering? Why should God, the Supreme, cause the suffering if He is an all-loving Father? Suffering is caused not by God, but by our own desire to enjoy separate from God.
Yeah, for example, God is creating ozonosphere. See, He's a good God. Ozonosphere actually gives protection to jivas from the ultraviolet radiation, correct? No? But man sends carbon monoxide from his motor car, automobile emission. And he is making a hole in the ozonosphere. So is God creating trouble or we creating trouble? We are creating trouble. And then UV radiation is coming, and if you say God is so cruelly sending UV radiation and causing diseases, God is not sending, you made the hole. Huh? So we create trouble to ourselves. God gave a horse carriage, we made the horsepower motor. Huh? See, horse carriage, and I asked in one children program, what is the difference between the two? A horse carriage versus horsepower motor. Huh? Man has made horsepower motor, God gave horse carriage. So they were saying, one child said, if you are sitting in a horse carriage and you slept off also, no problem. Your driver slept. Whenever something is coming on the way, the horse will stop. And then only it will go. Because it's a living thing. You don't have to worry. But in a car, if you doze, there will be accident. Car is not going to stop. It's a machine, dead machine. Another difference, a horse carriage, horse releases stool, which is organic actually. It mixes with the nature. There is no problem with that. Whereas the motor cars, like that, they give carbon monoxide, which is very deadly for the health. Air pollution, it causes air pollution. That's another difference. You see the difference, no? In a motor car, there can be terrible accident in countries like America. One car goes, wrong. Another 100 cars coming at a breakneck speed, they all will hit one another and terrible accidents happen. Whereas, have you ever heard bullock cart or horse cart had accident in a village? Have you ever heard? When bullock cart was going, 200 people died. You don't hear that. Huh? In Bhubaneswar, you hear about a train accident, but you don't hear bullock cart accident. You never hear. Huh? So, God's creation is always very wonderful. Man only creates more trouble. That's what he's saying. Read further.
A child who wants to leave the safety of the hands of his parents and cross the busy road alone will undoubtedly feel frightened by the huge lorries and elephants. If we live,
Yeah, these things I already told you now. Yeah.
returning to harmony, the symptom of suffering is good because it gives us an opportunity to look for the root cause. All suffering has a purpose behind it. A thief is beaten so that he gives up his stealing propensity. When our worldly system is disturbed, it gets heated up, showing fever, so that we understand the need to go to a doctor. Thus, the symptom of pain or heat is not bad, as it allows us to take positive action to rectify the bad situation in the system.
This is the point I was telling you in the morning. Huh? The heat in the body, bitterness in the tongue is good because that makes us go to doctor. Similarly, in this world, when you suffer, you should go to your doctor who is Guru. Guru is the doctor. What is the medicine Guru gives? Anybody knows? Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna mantra is the medicine. Huh? Guru is the doctor. And we go to the doctor only when we get sickness. Similarly, when we see the sufferings, we go to Guru and ask, why am I suffering? Huh? How can I get rid of suffering? Yeah. Yes.
Similarly, we find that in this world, despite our prolonged endeavors for happiness, suffering persists. This indicates that we are in a foreign atmosphere. The king puts the disobedient citizens within the walls of the jail, but sometimes the king, desiring the prisoners' relief, personally goes there and pleads for reformation, and on his doing so, the prisoners are set free. Similarly, the Supreme Lord descends from his kingdom upon the kingdom of illusionary energy and personally gives relief.
Like, for example, Krishna comes to this world. Correct, no? He comes in this world. He says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bharata abhyathanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. See, that is saying that. So he is coming. Just like sometimes the Prime Minister comes in this world to the jail to see how the prisoners are doing. But the problem is what? Some prisoners think, hey, PM of India is here in the jail. What does it mean? If he is in the jail, we are in the jail, we are all Prime Ministers. If they think like that, how foolish it is. Or if they think that because he has come into jail, he is also a thief. That is also offensive. To call a president or prime minister as thief is offensive. To call oneself president or prime minister is another offense. It's two offenses. When Krishna comes in this world, some people say, hey, Krishna is coming into the world, so he's also a jiva like you and me. That's one offense. What that was 9.11. Anybody knows? 9.11. Avajananti mam mudha. Krishna is saying, mudha. Mudha people don't know that I am God. They think of me. They think I have two hands. They have two hands. They are also like me. He says. So he comes still. Although there are foolish living beings who can't recognize him, still he comes. He comes and he performs leelas, as covered boy, in Vrindavan, Dwaraka. So many nice pastimes he performs and goes so we can be attracted to him. Yeah. Yeah. Answer this. Is fever good or bad? What is the reason? It's an indication it's good for us. Yeah. What is the fever compared to above? Our fever is our sufferings in this world. See, suffering comes due to sin, committing sin. And sin happens due to ignorance. When you are ignorant about soul, God, and the spiritual world and everything, ignorance leads to sin, sin leads to sufferings. Why does Krishna come as avatar to this world of Maya? He can remain in spiritual world happily. Why he comes here? To attract us back to his abode. What is the method for becoming free from Maya's clutches? What is it? For surrendering to Krishna, yeah. By going to a spiritual master, we should go and surrendering. The last part of this lesson, Durga is an obedient maid servant of Krishna. I will tell you one little anecdote in this connection. In ISKCON, there is one Maharaj, his name is Sachinandan Maharaj. He's one of Sachinandan Maharaj. He told an interesting story. He said he was a paper boy in his school days, who throws paper in the people's homes. He was doing that. There was one Jamindar who once asked him, why are you keeping the paper in the gate? Why don't you enter my compound wall and come, there are gardens and then my house is here. I want you to come inside and give it in my house and go. So this boy was telling that, sir, I'm little afraid because you have a big bulldog. I'm little worried. And the man said, hey, you see, the bulldog is always tied to the tree. You have nothing to worry. He may, like that he may say, but he can't bite you because he's tied with a chain. Okay, sure enough, he's tied. Every day he would come in to give and the dog would bark and he would go away. So one day he saw the dog was sleeping near the tree and the chain was also there. Only thing is the boy didn't notice that the chain was not put on the dog. The chain was nearby, dog was there, but they were not tied. When the boy entered, immediately the dog got up. Now today he barked also and started running towards the boy. So guess what he should do? If he runs away, what the dog will do? He'll run behind him. If he takes a stick and beats on his face, what he will do? He'll bite him. Then what he should do? Anybody? Call the master, give an applause. That is the answer. We'll give one prize to him. We'll give one prize for the one who said the answer. Who said the answer? Call the master. Yeah, please come. You also come. There are two more people, I think. Yeah, come. Call the master. Somebody else here also said, call the master. Come here. Those who said that. Call the master. They got the master now. Correct. So, that's what he did. He called the master. As soon as he called the master, master gave out a whistle and said, hey, Tommy. Like that, he gave some whistle. The dog immediately ran to the master, sat by the side, wagging the tail, completely became quiet. So he told us this example to illustrate this point, what you see here. He said that the dog cannot catch you if the master tells the dog not to catch you. Similarly, Durga is servant of Krishna. If she is catching you, what we should do. He said, how to call the master? He said, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. So he said that when you call like this, the Lord will call Maya and tell her, hey, Devi, release the poor soul. He is now my devotee. He has no inclination to enjoy separate life from me. He is chanting my name. His goal is to return to my spiritual world and he wants to join my pastimes. So leave him. Then what Maya Devi will do? She will release. She will say, okay, now you can't be captured now. You carry on. Go to Krishna. That's the example he gave. So I was telling you about the password for happiness. This is the password, which is one. Mahamantra. That is the password. Huh? So by chanting this password, you get released from this material world to go back home, back to Adhyana. That's the, yeah. So now what happens exactly when you chant Hare Krishna? Mind becomes gradually cleansed, purified, more and more purified. But for more purification to happen faster, we need to develop affection for the Lord. So, therefore, I am showing you some qualities, magnanimous quality of the magnetic personality. Why Krishna is a worthy master to take shelter? Let us see. Read that. You can give it to him. You can read that. Yeah, you can read. You read all of it. Yeah. Go ahead.
He is a master strategist and tactful crisis management leader who adopts different leadership styles according to the situation and people he has to deal with. Furthermore, controlling an army of 1.53 million soldiers and warriors of the Pandava army to fight and win against a bigger army was not an easy task.
Correct, na? He's a master strategist, Krishna, and tactful crisis manager, it is said. It's not an ordinary thing. Imagine that number one commander-in-chief, Arjuna, collapsed. What any of you would have done if you were in Krishna's place? Your man, the right-hand man who's supposed to fight the battle is collapsing. He said, I won't fight. Nayodsya, iti govinda muktva tushnim babuha. Arjuna said, I'm not going to fight. So Krishna is the best leader. He could motivate a person who was totally depressed. Yeah, read it. No, it's not.
As a teacher, Lord Krishna told
See, you hold the tail end like this. Tail end. No, your hand should be here, behind. Yeah.
As a teacher, Lord Krishna taught the supreme truths of yoga, bhakti, and Vedanta to Arjuna and Uddhava. Krishna proves himself to be the ideal teacher and guru of all gurus. He patiently answers some 574 questions in the battlefield of Kurukshetra over 18 counseling sessions to allow
18
Arjuna
counseling sessions, 18 chapters. Yeah.
to allow Arjuna to spell out his doubts, confusion, and emotional trauma before giving his own logic and reasoning.
That means Krishna cleared Arjuna's doubts. He brought him out of confusion and made him confident. So crying Arjuna became confident Arjuna. Correct, no? Confused Arjuna had clarity at the end. You will see that. And his emotional trauma was gone. He became cheerful. Yeah. Title?
Best disciple and servant of Guru.
Yeah. How many of you know Krishna and Sudama went to bring firewood from the forest? You heard that? Yeah. See, that means, Krishna not only is a great leader, he becomes a disciple in the ashram of Santipani Muni near Ujjain. And he's showing how we all, even he's setting an example to the whole world. Everybody should become a Shishya. Correct, no? He's teaching by example.
Best joy-giving son.
Yeah, nobody in the world can give such joy to one's mother, like Krishna playing childish pranks at home to both Yashoda and other gopis. We will talk about it later day.
Most brilliant student.
64 days he learned how many kalas?
64.
Daytime he learned, nighttime he practiced. Again next day, daytime. 64 days Gurukula day was over for him. Training. So he's a most brilliant student.
Best friend.
Yeah. We say a friend in need. Friend indeed, we say, no? He was such an amazing friend. The toughest, like we say, a real friend is one who is available to you in rain and shine, we say. So, shine means a happy day. Rain means a troublesome day. But Krishna was always with them in fair weather and foul weather. He was always with Pandavas. He never left them. Best friend.
Best master.
Yeah. Nobody who can guide like him to the Pandavas. When they were in forest for 12 years, he told them, don't waste your time sitting in the forest. Arjuna, you go to heaven and get celestial weapons. Huh? And Bhima made friendship with Hanuman. Huh? In this way, everybody was learning something. Even Yudhishthira Maharaj was learning from the Brahmanas and sages many things in the forest. It's all by guidance of Krishna. And then later on, Krishna arranged for the war to be fought, and then he gave the kingdom and made them kings of the whole world. Huh? He's the best master. Draupadi was in trouble. Once she said, Durvasa has come with 10,000 disciples, and Krishna took the Akshay Patra. You all know that, right? Put one grain. So he's always available for Pandavas.
Best reciprocator.
Krishna would not ignore anybody. Look at this picture. Some servants are folding palms. Krishna is looking at them and waving the hand. Huh? Yeah, although he is, paying attention to Pandavas and all, Arjuna is holding a jeweled umbrella above his head. Huh? Bhima is coming behind. Tall Bhima is coming. Behind Bhima, there is one old lady bringing garland. You saw that?
Yes.
Krishna is waiting. She will come and offer garland to Krishna. He doesn't neglect anybody. No? He doesn't ignore anybody. The best reciprocator. That is mentioned in the first canto, 11th chapter, Krishna entering Dwaraka. Everybody brought some gift. Now he is leaving Hastinapur here. When he enters Dwaraka also, you will see somebody comes and gives him some gift. He will accept whatever they give. No?
Best king of Dwarka.
Yeah. Most welcome. Krishna is entering Dwaraka now. All people came and offered him gifts. And
Best worshipper of devotees.
correct, no? This you all saw in Sankalp camp. You saw the video of Krishna washing the feet of Sudama. Even his wife Rukmini is fanning Sudama, you see. Because she knew very well, if I serve Sudama, Krishna will be pleased. Huh? So she is fanning.
Best protector.
Yeah, nowadays people talk about social welfare. Huh? Krishna is the greatest social reformer and social worker. Why? Because these princesses you are seeing, they were all in the jail of Bhaumasura. Huh? Many, many long years. And when Krishna broke open the jail and asked them all to return to their own homes, they were not ready to go. They were all just mum, standing. He asked, what happened to you? Why are you not happy? He asked them. They said, you see, we were touched by Bhaumasura and brought here. So we don't know whether our parents will accept us. And in those days, if a woman is touched by a man, nobody will marry that woman. Nowadays, so many women are spoiled before marriage. Huh? It's because of the modern day degradation. In those days, they said, because Bhaumasura kept us here, nobody will marry us. So they said, you can consider us like a rejected lot. We are good for nothing. Huh? We thought we will spend our life like this only. Huh? But you have released us, we don't know what to do. Then Krishna asked, what do you want me to do? Tell me. They said, you only released us, why didn't you marry us? They asked. Krishna said, all right. He told all of them. Huh? And he told each of them, come. He gave them a palanquin, which will take them to Dwaraka. Huh? And he expanded himself into 16,108 forms. Huh? If one of the princes was short, then Krishna also expanded himself short. Somebody was tall, he also expanded tall. Somebody was a little chubby, he was also chubby. Huh? Somebody was thin, he was thin. So exactly, like we say in English, made for. So like that he expanded and gave them all golden ornaments and silver ornaments, gave them a palanquin, gave them one palace, expanded himself and lived with all of them. Morning what he would do when he would go to his Sudharma royal assembly, he would come out of one palace, as he would walk, and the next Krishna would come out of his palace, then they both will merge. At the end of the lane, all the Krishnas would merge. Finally, when he enters Sudharma assembly, all 16,000 Krishnas have merged into one form. And then when he would leave the assembly, in one palace, one Krishna will enter. What an amazing! Narada was amazed when he saw this. He said, what is this? Mighty Lord, what a magic miracle you are doing. Huh? So in this way, he is the protector of so many. These women are not ordinary, they are all pure devotees. Later on, there is one chapter you will see where these 16,000 women, they were very fascinated by the Vijayabasis. They wanted to have devotion like them. They are saying that.
Best husband.
These are the 5 Patranis of Krishna. Rukmini, Satyabhama, Mitravinda, Bhadra, and who is the other one? Lagnajiti, huh? Jambavati, correct, Jambavati. So, this is Dwarka Palace. So, he taught about how Grihastha and the family should rise early in the morning, give cows in charity, one should feed the prasadam to the other people, one should perform religious duties. He lived as an ideal householder and showed.
Best schoolmate.
Yeah, he was a Gurukul mate of Sudama, isn't it?
Always joyful and giving joy to his devotees.
Yeah. Here Krishna is going with his covered boys to forest of Vrindavan to play. And we will be hearing more about it in the coming 2-3 days later. We will hear how he gave joy to his friends in the forest. He's always playful and mischievous, sportive. So his friends are very fond of Krishna. They, even in the middle of the night, sometimes covered boys would wake up 11 o'clock at night. They would go to Mother Yashoda's home, palace and say that, "Hey, Kana, come, it's getting late morning, we have to go to forest." Mother will say, "Hey, is this the time to go? Go and sleep now. It's 11 o'clock at night," she would say. They were very fond of Krishna.
Best known for simplicity.
See, even the cows were very fond of him. Every cow wanted to be caressed by him. The cows had a motherly feeling. They gave milk to Krishna and they wanted to. It is said that the cows, when Krishna would play on his flute, their ears would stand erect like this. And drinking the nectar of the flute, they would stop eating the grass put in the mouth. Mouth will be filled with grass, but they won't eat because they are so fond of hearing his flute. And the calves also drinking milk, when they would hear the flute sound, they would think this nectar is greater than this nectar. So they would stop drinking milk, it is said. So they used to be very fond of.
Master of communication.
Yeah. So how many of you feel in a battlefield to communicate to your man like Arjuna is a little difficult? You agree? Because all the armies are already arrayed and the shank is already blown, war is about to start and your man is collapsing. He is not ready to fight. So in that short 1 hour period, he communicated Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, after which Arjuna fought the battle. You can see that.
Ocean of knowledge.
Yeah. One shloka that he spoke can be spoken for 10 hours also. All over the world, many learned people are describing on elaboration of the Bhagavad Gita verses. There are more than 800 commentaries on this. You can see that. It's called as Vavaduka, we call it. Vavaduka means one who can speak very gravely. One shloka, if he speaks, he can pack the meaning of 100 pages, like that. Vavaduka, very wisely.
Fully blossomed Purna Purushottam.
Yeah.
Lord Krishna is regarded as Solho Kala Sampurna and Purna Purushottam. He acted as a cowherd, a legendary guru, an obedient and brilliant student, a great king, a protector, an ideal friend, a philosopher, an accomplished charioteer, a master flute player. He gave lessons to Narada in the art of playing the veena. His flute thrilled the hearts of the gopis and made all the cows gather in one place. He almost did everything and excelled at them. He was indeed the master of all.
Yeah. So, and okay, this is from these are qualities. This I'll come to it later. See, there is a very beautiful verse by, you all can repeat this verse. This is spoken by Uddhava. Tasmad bhavantamanavadyamanantaparam sarvajñamishwaramakuntha vikuntha dishnyam nirvinnadhirahamuhe brijinabhitapto Narayanam Narasakham Sharanam Prapadye. It's a very extraordinary verse it is, because each of these words are going to be explained now. Uddhava is a pure devotee of Krishna. One of the Yadus. He is telling this verse. Tasmad bhavantam anavadyam is saying. My dear Lord, you are anavadyam. Anavadyam means what? Spotlessly pure. Like the sun. The sun evaporates urine all over the world. Does it get contaminated? it remains pure also. It renders the place clean and the sun also remains pure. Is like that. Read that.
We may be attracted by the good qualities of a particular man or demigod, but we may later discover discrepancies in that person's behavior. Therefore, Krishna is described as anavadyam. There are no discrepancies in the personal conduct or character of personality of Godhead. He is eternally faultless.
Yeah, in this world, if you put faith in somebody, after some time you come to know that they have some flaw. Correct, no? There are different type of flaws. For example, somebody looks very handsome from a distance. When you come near them, they have squint eyes like this. You've seen that? Huh? Or somebody from behind, they look very attractive. From the front, if you see face is not beautiful, you'll see that. Huh? Or somebody is very intelligent, but they have no beauty. Or somebody is very beautiful, but they have no intelligence in this world. Correct, no? Yeah, always you find something lacking in people. Anavadya means spotlessly pure. Krishna is most handsome, is most intelligent, is most knowledgeable, is most famous, most renounced, most wealthy also. Huh? That's the meaning of Anavadyam, spotless. In the top left corner you see Krishna Arjuna friendship is spotless. And that is Krishna and his sister Subhadra. Subhadra lost her son Abhimanyu, so she is morose. Krishna saw that she is morose, so he decided to stay back for a month. Huh? He was leaving for Dwaraka, saw that my sister is not happy, so he wanted to stay back and pacify her. Huh? On the right side top, you find Krishna washing Sudama's feet. Here you find Yudhishthira Maharaj after the battle. He told Krishna that please don't go back, stay with us. Then one more month he stayed that time also. So in this way you will see Krishna is, he becomes subordinate to the love of his devotees. Huh? That is another meaning of Anavadyam. Anavadyam means he's so pure-hearted and tender-hearted that he becomes, conducted by his devotees. Yeah.
Anavadyam, spotlessly pure.
He is so pure that when he goes to Mithilapuri, Lord Ramachandra, when he put his foot on a stone, that stone turned into Ahilya. Correct now you see in the picture? Yeah. So his feet are always decorated by, many symbols like this.
Lord Krishna's lotus feet with 16 divine markings.
Yeah, Brahmaji says many of the avatars have got 4 or 5 markings, but Krishna's feet has 16 markings. Each marking has a meaning. Like you see that umbrella. Huh? What is umbrella meaning of umbrella? Lokanam Kirti Vardhanam. Huh? Anyone who becomes Krishna's devotee will become very famous also. Huh? One example I'll tell you. There was one Prabhupada disciple, this fellow, he had a desire to study in Harvard Business School in America. Huh? He was American only, but he was only 5th pass out. After 5th standard, he didn't study only further. Do you think he can go to Harvard Business School? Huh? Later on, he took up something like carpentry and some work, practical work, vocational work, training he took. When he grew up, he joined ISKCON. And in ISKCON, he became a big talker, big speaker. Huh? He went to many, many places. And as he proceeded, one time he got an invitation from Harvard Business School. They called him for a topic called mind management. So when he went to he gave the topic. Many of the top-notch department heads and professors were sitting in the front row. And director was sitting. So he was like, his jaws dropped. Huh? He came back and told Prabhupada, Swamiji, I wanted to study in Harvard Business School, but you made me give class to the teachers of Harvard Business School. Like that he said. So, Prabhupada said, Krishna makes his devotee very famous. Huh? That's why the umbrella. Even small people become very big people when they become devotees. How Krishna will make them? Bali Maharaj was a demon. But when he surrendered to Krishna, Krishna added his name in the list of Mahajans. Anybody knows Mahajans? Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumara, Kapilo, Manu, Prahalado, Janako, Bhishmo, Balir. Huh? Bali Maharaj, name is there. These are called 12 Mahajans. Balir, Vayasaki, Vayam. So, Bali Maharaj was very low, but Krishna made him very high. Huh? Took him to such a great height. So, in the same manner, each one can say, like you see, there's a thunderbolt in Krishna's lotus feet, which means Krishna shatters the mountain of sins that anybody might have committed. There's a fish in Krishna's lotus feet. The fish means The devotees cannot live without Krishna, like fish cannot live without water. There's a lotus, which means if you become Krishna's devotee, Krishna will keep you like a lotus between kichad. That means even in a kichad like material world, you can live like a lotus, pure and pristine. So like that, many symbols are there.
Anant Param.
Yeah.
We may faithfully serve our master, but when it is time for us to receive our reward for faithful service, the master may die. Therefore, Lord Krishna is here described as Ananta Param, which indicates that he is not limited by time or space. Ant, termination of time, and Para means spatial termination.
Para.
Para. Lord Krishna is not limited by time or space and thus will always dutifully reward his faithful servants.
See, let us assume that you had a boss in the company. You worked for about 5-6 years faithfully. Every day night, boss leaves at 9:30 and you leave only after that. When the boss is about to leave, you go in front of him and say, "Sir, I'm still here." People do that now because you want to get promotion. 4 years, 5 years you served. And the 5th year when the actual promotion is coming, next week it's coming, the boss left the company and went to another company. It happens sometimes like that. So then nobody knows what you have done the last 5 years. In this world, no master can be, said to be like Krishna because they are terminated by time. Somebody may die or somebody may move to another place. That is or they have limitation also. Sometimes the boss tells you that, see, you are a wonderful boy, I want to give you promotion, but it is not in my hands. Somebody else has to give it. I will try my best to recommend your name, but at last I can't tell you anything. They have limitation, but Krishna has no limit in going anywhere. I'll show you that. See, for example, here is Krishna sitting with other covered boys in the Gurukula, attending the class from Sandipani Muni. And Sandipani Muni, now both Krishna and Balram are coming to him and saying, Guruji, now we have completed our term in the Gurukul. We are leaving now. So tell us how we can serve you. What dakshina can we give you? So the Guru says, oh, you two are the supreme lords. Let me consult my wife. So he consults his wife, and wife says, "Kuch chota mota cheez mat mangna. Ask something very big from these fellows." So then they decide that, okay, you get our dead son back. Our dead son has gone to Yamaloka due to some sins. If you can bring him back, it will be nice. So they both agree. And then Krishna goes here. Please repeat this. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. This is Krishna speaking to Yamaraj. Guruputra Mihanitam Nijakarma Nibandhanam Anayasva Maharaja Machasana Puraskritaha. She is saying, Guruputra Vihanitam. Hey Yamaraj, as soon as he went to Yamaloka and Krishna blowed his conch shell, Yamaraj heard the auspicious sound. He came running and saw Krishna and offered obeisances. Said, my dear Lord, what brings you here? I am so blessed that your lotus feet has touched my abode. What can I do for you? He said. Krishna is saying, Guru Putra Vihanitam. My Guru's son has come here to your place. Why? Nija Karma Nibandhanam. Maybe this fellow did some sins in the past lives. He has been sent here for punishment. Anayasva Maharaja. Bring that boy to me, Krishna is telling. Naturally, what do you think Yamaraj must have asked? Sir, if he is in hell here for punishment, punishment is not yet over. If I am handing him over back to you, then what happens to that punishment? Krishna said, Mat Shasana Puraskrita. Write his punishments in my name. He said, write it off. Like that he said. Because he says, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksheshyam. So Krishna said, you can write it in my account and release that boy. Give him back, he said. So only Krishna can say that. Say, if any of you CEO of a company, you can go to accounts department and say, hey, 10 lakh nikalo. You can say like that. Can anybody go and say that? And accounts people won't give also. If somebody asks, your owner of a company can ask anything. He can just go to Yamaloka and say, give that boy back. So he took the boy back and handed over to the parents. You see?
Krishna returns Guru's son from Yamaloka.
Yeah. So he gave them back. That means Krishna can go anywhere in the universe and do anything. See, this is another pastime. Once there were 4 children of one Brahmana. Not 4 children. First, there was only one child born, and the child died. Second child was born, that also died. Third child, 4 children died. I mean, 3 children died, and the Brahmana was very angry. He said, "Who is the Kshatriya ruling the country? He's not able to control the Yama from taking away my children. Akala Mrityu is happening." Because in those days, it is said that the rains will come on time. The weather will not be too hot, and the Akala Mrityu will not happen when a king is ruling the world properly. So this Brahmana was shouting, scolding Kshatriyas. Arjuna came and said, because Arjuna is Kshatriya, he felt offended. He said, "Wait a minute, Brahman. I promise you that you lost 3 children. 4th child you will not lose. I will help you." So he took his bow and arrow, went around the maternity ward. The Brahmana's wife was admitted for delivery of the child. Suddenly there was a big loud cry that that child also died. And the Brahmana came out and said, "You foolish Arjuna, you said you will save my 4th child. Bada bada baat kiya, kuch save nahi kar paya. What is the use of your talking?" Arjuna became very sad. So immediately Arjuna made a fire and said, "I'm going to enter the fire now. I couldn't keep my vachan." At that time Krishna came and said, "Arjuna, kya ho gaya? What happened to you?" Arjuna said this. Krishna said, "Arey main hu na tumko? I am there. You never asked me." Arjuna said, "Yeah, that's a good idea. So tell me what I should do." Krishna said, "Come with me." So Krishna put him in the chariot and took him beyond the universe to the place where Mahavishnu resides. The Brahmajyoti light was coming. The horses were turning their faces like this. And then they crossed and they went ahead. And when they went to Mahavishnu had kept these 4 children. Why he kept? The reason is given here. All of you repeat this. Mad darshanartam te bala kritastena mahatmana viprartham yeshyate krishno matsamipam nachanyata.
Krishna told Arjuna, it was to see me that he, Mahavishnu, the Supreme Soul, stole the children. He believed only on a Brahmana's behalf will Krishna come to see me, not otherwise.
Yeah. So even Mahavishnu wants to see the beautiful form of Krishna. Now you may wonder how Mahavishnu is Krishna's expansion. Yes, even his expansions want to see his beauty. It is said. There is one verse in the Bhagavatam. Yanmatyalila swayoga maya balam darshayita grihitam ismapanam swasya saubhagaridhe param padam bhushana bhushanangam. This verse says, Vismapanam means Mahavishnu is Vismit. He is astonished seeing the 200 form of Krishna playing on the flute. He is charmed by that form. Even he wants to see, he says. So therefore, Mahavishnu, aspiring for Krishna's darshan, he brought these 4 children. So that means Krishna can go anywhere and bring anyone. Yeah.
Krishna rescues Nanda Maharaj from the abode of Varuna.
One time, Nanda Maharaj was early morning while taking bath captured by one of Varuna's men and brought to Varuna's abode. Because they thought that he took bath in a improper, inauspicious time, which was actually a wrong calculation. So when Krishna came to know Nanda Baba is taken away, he came to Varuna Loka, he is coming. He is going to Varuna. As soon as Varuna saw, he immediately offered obeisances to Krishna. He says, Varuna worshipped Lord Krishna. Read that, I have achieved.
Seeing Lord Krishna came, Varuna worshipped Lord Krishna and spoke as follows. I have achieved the perfection of my life. One can transcend the material existence by accepting your lotus feet. Obeisances to you. You are the absolute truth with no trace of illusion. You are the ultimate source of creation.
So when Nanda Baba heard all this, he was wondering, Hare, mera beta chota, I have a small son and Varuna is worshipping him. Nanda Baba was amazed. Nanda Baba came back and told the story to everybody in Vrindavan. I thought our son is a small boy and he is called as the source of all creation. Because Nanda Baba was in pure love with Krishna and the Vatsalya Baba. So Krishna can go anywhere and bring anyone.
Sarvajnam.
Sarvajnam.
Sarvagyam. If we serve someone other than the personality of Godhead, our so-called master may forget our service or become ungrateful. Therefore, Lord Krishna is described here as Sarvagyam, omniscient. He can never forget the service of his devotee, and therefore he is never ungrateful. In fact, it is said that Lord Krishna does not remember the faults of his devotees, but only the sincere service they have rendered.
See, if you have rendered even little service to Krishna, he will not forget it. I'll just show you one instance. See, one time, Draupadi gave a plate of fruits. When Krishna cut it, there was one drop of blood. She tore her sari at the end, and immediately uh, she tied in Krishna's finger. And then what Krishna said, you see, you want to see? See, today
Today,
Draupadi.
Draupadi,
Yeah.
I am indebted to you, and when the time comes, I will pay you back for each and every thread.
Yeah.
Shri Krishna to Draupadi.
Yeah. And when Draupadi is Vastraharan Leela, the Vastraharan time, that time, Draupadi was weeping. Nobody could save her. Huh? At that time, Krishna supplied unlimited sari, isn't it? Huh? He went on supplying, and Dushasana was tired. He had strength like 10,000 elephants. When this kind of supply was done, Dushasana fainted unconscious. Huh?
All
So-
Krishna Leela in one slide.
Yeah. This is Krishna performs many leelas and protects his devotees. You can see that. These are all different pastimes of Krishna. So, because Vrindavan is his abode, all these pastimes Krishna performs in Vrindavan. Huh? This is Mathura. Mathura started it from this, yeah. Anyway, I showed you Draupadi's pastime. Why? Because of this. Sarvagya means, he tells Draupadi, see, you have given me a strip of your costly sari cloth. From that you tore and gave. Now I have to return back. How much sari he gave back? She gave this much, one strip, and he gave her unlimited sari back. No? Because he remembers. He doesn't forget when you render a service, even little service if you did. Huh? For example, say you're working in a IT company. One of your boss is very, very fond of you. He always calls you, pats on your back. Another fellow is getting envious of you. Huh? After 5, 6 years, you are going to be made the team lead. At that time, one colleague goes to him, and then like that he fills his ears with some wrong information. In Hindi, we call it the Kan Bardena. You know that? Kan Bardiya, huh? Boss ka. The boss turns against you. Huh? You may wonder why boss has become like this. Boss says, oh, you are like this, you said about me like this, you did that, like that. Then boss doesn't give you promotion. And the fellow who gave the wrong complaint about you, he gets promotion. How many of you think such things happen nowadays? Correct, no? Yeah. But can it happen in Krishna's case? Why it cannot happen? Can somebody go to Krishna and tell something wrong about devotee? Why they cannot tell? He knows everything. How he knows everything? Because he's super soul. So anybody goes and tells Krishna, Krishna, Acharya, उसके बारे में मालूम है मुझे, तुम्हारे बारे में मालूम है मुझे. I know about you also and him also. Keep quiet, he will say. That's why he's called Sarvajñam. He's all knowing. Nobody can cheat him. Because he's in every atom, he's in every heart of every living being.
Ishwaram. A further disadvantage in serving anyone besides Krishna is that when we are in danger, our master may not be able to protect us. If we take shelter of our nation, that nation may be destroyed in war. If we take shelter of our family, they may also die. And as described in the Vedic literature, even the demigods are sometimes defeated by the demons. But since Lord Krishna is described here as Ishvara or the supreme controller, there is no danger of his being overcome or even impeded by any other power. Thus, Lord Krishna's promise of protection to his devotee is eternally valid.
Yeah. Nobody can defeat Krishna in any war. There has been many wars. You will hear Banasura fighting against Krishna, or in Kurukshetra you will see Krishna is never defeated. One time there was a demigods meeting in the heaven, and Lord Shiva was sitting like this in a very eyes closed in a dhyana mudra he was sitting. And Parvati was sitting next to him. She shook up Shiva and said, All the demigods are talking about killing Ravana. Who is your favorite devotee? What are you going to do about it? Shiva said, I can't do anything. Because Vinashakale Redabuddhi. He has become extremely atrocious. He has turned against the Supreme Lord, Ramchandra. So now the only thing is he has to die now. So you will see that he was a devotee of Shiva, but Shiva gave him up. But if you are a Krishna devotee, do you think Krishna will give you up? He will not give you up. If you become atrocious, he will give you a tight slap. And there are many examples for that. Because Krishna will not allow his devotees to go on the wrong path. If he finds that somebody is Krishna's devotee but going on the wrong path, Krishna will take action on him. You will see that there are many examples also. Like for example, Indra once showered heavy rain. Krishna chastised him after that. Krishna spends time with his devotees, rectifying their faults. I'll just show you. See, after the Govardhana Leela was over, Krishna went to a lonely place because he wanted to chastise Indra privately, not in the public. See, now Krishna is waiting for Indra to come. See, Indra is coming behind, correct? See, Krishna is watching. Krishna is saying, now he'll turn his eyes. See? He is very unhappy with his behavior. So Indra is now walking. Now Krishna is speaking to him, is chastising him, scolding him. Indra is feeling ashamed. He is putting the mukut down and saying, I'm ready to resign from my post. So Krishna spoke very powerful words, giving upadesh, because he will rectify his devotee. When Krishna sees Mam Aishwarya Shri Madando Dandapanim Napashyati Tam Brahmshayami Sampadvyo Jasya Chechami Anugraham. My dear Indra, when I see that my devotee has become proud, I will vanquish his pride by making him fall from his position. Anugraham, I showed you mercy by thoroughly defeating you with a Govardhan hill. Like that he says. And then after Indra completely humbled himself and was ready to resign, Indra thought that now Krishna will send me to Yamaloka and get me beaten up by Yamadutas. He thought like that. Because you all know the pastime, no? Govardhan Leela. He had showered heavy rain to kill all the cows and calves and this thing. So now, but what Krishna said, you see, all of you repeat this. Gamyatam shagra badram baha kriyatame anushasanam stiyatam swadikareshu yuktairvastam bavarjitaihi. My dear Indra, you may go back now. You don't have to give up your post, but give up your false pride. He told him. I want you to rule the kingdom of demigods, but not with pride. Give up your pride. But do your activities according to my order. That means Krishna chastises devotees, purifies them and brings them to track. He doesn't give them up. That's the whole point. So that's the meaning of, and also Ishvara means, tam Ishwaranam paramam maheshwaram tam daivatanam paramam cha daivatam patim patinam paramam parastat vidamadevam bhuvaneshwamedhyam yasmat param na paramaste kinchit. Beyond Krishna there is no other God, he says. And then he says, tam Ishwaranam paramam maheshwar means amongst all the devatas he is the supreme. Amongst all the leaders, he is the leader of all leaders. Even he says that, our Bhishma also. Jagat Prabhum Deva Devam Anantam Purushottamam Stuvannama Sahasrena Purushas Sadadotitaha Tameva Charchayan Nityam Bhaktya Purushamabhyayam Dhyayan Stuvannamasyam Yajamanas Tamevacha Anadinidanam Vishnum Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Lokadhyaksham Stuvannityam Sarva Dukkadigo Bhavet Brahmanyam Sarva Dharmagyam Lokanam Kirtivardhanam Lokanatham Mahadbhutam. In this way, this beginning with the Vishnu Sahasranama, Jagat Prabham, Deva Devam, same glorification about Krishna, is the Ishvara of all Ishwaras, Supreme Ishvara.
Akunta Vikunta Dishnyam. Lord Krishna has an internal abode called Vakunta, and that abode is never disturbed by anything. The faithful servants of Lord Krishna will certainly go back to Godhead, back home, for an eternal life of bliss and knowledge in the personal abode of the Lord. However, Since even the demigods, and what to speak of insignificant human beings, are subject sooner or later to annihilation, what ultimate benefit can be derived from serving them?
Yeah. Actually, in this world, everybody wants a master to serve. When a boy completes his education in a college, he takes his degree and goes from company to company asking for an employment. Many companies say, no vacancy, get out. And then they go here and there because everybody is seeking a master to serve. And because when a company gives an appointment, I remember long before when I got an appointment order after my BTech, when you receive the appointment order in the hand, you feel so jolly. They're giving me the postgraduate engineering training, and the payment, how much they will give monthly is mentioned, and they will give me a card. And every company gives you an I card which you can wear in the neck, like we wear bead bag. They give you an I card. I belong to this company, correct? No? So the Jiva wants to be owned by somebody. Yeah? Everybody owned by Infosys or Microsoft, some company, Cognizant, Persistent, some company. But if you are owned by somebody, that is a limit, that is a master you have, but that master has many limitations, we told you. Master may forget your service, or master may get transferred, or master may die, or master may not know your genuineness. Somebody can fill up his ears. So many things are there in this world. But you all will see when you are born, at that time a rubber stamp was put in your forehead. My son. Somebody claimed you. Later on, when you grow up, go to the college, our college student, somebody puts a rubber stamp. Later on, you join the job, then company gives you I card and says, our employee, correct, no? They put, somebody joins army, then the army people own you. Army says, our country, army, soldier. They put a rubber stamp like that. So, then a wife comes, wife says, my husband, then she takes over. Till now, your mother was saying, my son, now wife comes and says, my husband. Is it? In this way, somebody always owns you, and you are working for somebody in this world. And that somebody is not a permanent master, and that person is not going to come with you. Correct, no? Some company took a lot of service from you and they laid you off. So can you trust that company? So they can't trust. Similarly, with some wife you married, sometimes the wife passes away before the husband. Correct, no? And she's not there for you to support you emotionally. Similarly, the parents, many times parents are saying, beta, you bada ho jao, acha kamao, do this, do that, and then they pass away. Many times, like one family I know, a parent insisted a boy that you should marry this girl only because she is from, this caste and, this and that, everything. When then parents passed away, now this fellow had to tolerate that wife for whole life. Correct, no? They gave him a wife and they went away. So you will see that you will in this world, so many masters we all get changing masters. Immediately after birth, who is our master? Mother says, beta, sit here, eat this, don't go out. We are completely controlled by the mother. How many of you agree? Correct? They're born. So she's our master as soon as you're born. Then when you grow up to 8 or 10, then father becomes master because he gives money for your studies. Then he says, beta, ye karna, oh mat karna. And many times fathers are also not informed so much about dharma also. They don't know many times. And then later on your teachers, later on your company boss. We all are changing our master, changing. None of these masters are totally reliable, totally dependable. But today I showed you why Krishna is the best personality to surrender our hearts to. Because he is the best friend, he is the best master, best student, best in everything. He is Supreme Personality of Godhead ultimately. And therefore Uddhava says that. Here he says, Akunta Vikunta Dishna means the spiritual world is such a place where suffering cannot enter. You see Krishna relaxing with his covered boys, enjoying everything is Satchidananda in the spiritual world. And there is no trace of old age, disease, death, or anything like that. Yeah, even demigods don't have that facility. Demigods are also in this earth only. But Krishna is in the Vaikuntha planets, epitomized by Goloka, which is the topmost planet. So, any questions? There are many questions you have given. I've seen them. So now we have only 5 minutes, 2-3 minutes now. 1 or 2 questions I can answer quickly. The human form of life, only going back to Godhead is possible. Then How, in case of Gajendra, he went back to Godhead? How did the crocodile also went back to Godhead? See, these are exceptions. Huh? Exceptional Lord sometimes may show such things, but it doesn't happen always. But Lord, if He wants, He can create some exceptions. In our previous section, we were taught sufferings are caused by our karma and free will. But today we were told Durga gives suffering. Yeah, suffering is due to your karma, and the suffering is awarded to you by Durga. She is the policeman who gives you the beating. Huh? Yeah. But that is due to our karma only. Yeah. What is the meaning of Mahatma? Don't all devotees who want who chant sincerely and go to Godhead. Do only the Mahatmas go back. Should going back to Godhead be our goal, or chanting and following principles? See, Mahatma means what? For example, every one of you sitting here, for you, the first person you love the most is your mother. Then your mother and father. Then mother, father, brother, sister. In this way, your consciousness expands. But then you will see that this is our home and that is their home. Some people even take all the dust and everything and throw it in the next compound also. They don't care. They think our house, their house. But imagine if a boy in this house marries a girl in the next house, will they do that? Then they become sambandhi. Once they become sambandhi, they can't throw the dust on that side. Then they will say they are our people. In this way, we all increase in our fold, my jati people, my state people, my country people. In this way, your consciousness broadens. Then you go to America, London and all, you see very good people are there. I like all human beings. But still you may kill a chicken or a goat or something. Then you are still not a Mahatma. When you become Krishna's devotee, love God, all of you repeat, love God, love all. Then you are a Mahatma. Huh? Then, so Mahatma means his consciousness is most broad. He treats all living beings as Vasudha Eva. You all know G20, our Prime Minister has taken up G20. And 20 countries are coming together. India is leading in the Vasudha Eva Kutumbakam. Huh? That means the whole world is one family. And Krishna is our father. So that understanding when you come, then you are called as Mahatma. Okay. Now say I am a devotee. If I want to go back to Godhead, is it selfish? Anybody, what do you say? Is it selfish or not selfish? Okay, how many of you say wanting to go back to Godhead is selfish? You feel? There are about 20, 30 hands up. Okay. I will tell you why it is not selfish. If Krishna, Radha and Krishna are my parents, and I have got lost in some crowd somewhere, and I am crying to be back with my parents, is it wrong for a child to be back with parents? Is it selfish? If you tell a child, hey, why are you attached to going back to parents? Remain here only. Huh? To say like that. A child will say, hey, it's natural for me to be with parents. Huh? And not only that, we want to go back to Godhead. Why? Do we want to go and sleep there? What do we want to do there? So our desire is to serve. Our desire is not to relax. Jnanis want to go to Brahmajyoti to relax. But we don't want to relax. Huh? Now, how many of you say wanting to go back to Godhead is not selfish? Not selfish. Okay. How many of you say still you feel it is selfish? Anybody? Nobody. Now I think everybody understood that. Huh? Okay. We are all part and parcel of Krishna. He is the sole controller of everything. However, He created everything and He loves us and wants love from all of devotees. Does it mean that He feels lonely? Being the Supreme and created us to experience joy? No. He is called as Atmaram. He is completely satisfied in Himself. Attakam. All His desires are fulfilled. But we are His part and parcels. By loving Him, we stand to gain. He doesn't gain anything. What will He gain? Huh? We gain by that. See, I'll tell you a simple example. Say, our Prime Minister of India comes to your city and you have a bata shop. And he was walking on the road with all associates and his chappal got torn. He comes to your shop because you have a bata shop, board is put up. So how many of you will give him a free shoe? You'll give him free? Sure? Okay. How many of you will give him the costliest shoe in your shop? Best shoe you will give him? Only few. Okay. Okay, how many of you will not charge him at all? Good, very good. Everybody agrees. Why? Because when you're giving him the shoe, you will tell your assistant, hey, click a photo. Huh? Because who is taking shoe from me? Prime Minister. Huh? And then outside your shop, you will put the board. Mr. Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, visited our shop. Huh? This is the shop which he visited, along with you giving him photo. Then your shop will be crowded with thousands of people. Huh? But they will say, PM is buying here, I have to go to this shop. So who gained? He gained or you gained? We gained. So by giving to PM, you gain. Same with Krishna also. When you love him, you stand to gain. Uh, and he has millions and millions of jivas, don't worry. But if we go to him, we stand to gain. He never feels lonely. He is always surrounded by devotees there, millions of devotees. And we are also from there, but we have forgotten. By going back there, we stand to gain. My question is, why being servant is only the highest thing? I am trying to practice Krishna consciousness, but due to ego, that why everyone will serve Krishna only. What about me? I also want that everyone love me. And why being servant is the highest perfection? Why not anything else? These type of questions are always, you know, uh, arising in my practice of Krishna consciousness. It's not a very new thing. So well, not everybody feels like that when you, why Krishna should be the center? Why not me? Yeah. See, in a home, okay, how many of you have brothers? You have brothers? Okay. See, when your brother was born, the first child is born, everybody's attention goes on first child. When a second child comes, everybody, is very more attracted to the second child. And the first child is not getting attention. What he will do? He'll go to the younger brother, small baby, and he'll pinch him. Why you are getting attention? You know that? The doctors say it's out of psychology. Huh? They do like that. So the elder brother becomes envious of younger brother of the child. Because some intelligent parents, what they do, they pay attention to both. So they don't feel bad. So we all, in the conditioned nature, we have false ego, which makes us think, I want to be at the center. Everyone should worship me, praise me, glorify me. We think like that. But the more you become purified, actually, being servant of Krishna is not like being servant of a boss in the IT company. It's not like that. Uh, See, Krishna is such a master. If you become his servant, then he will become your servant. Like he is driving the chariot of Arjuna. Correct, no? You can see that. Who is servant? Arjuna is servant or Krishna is servant? Arjuna. But Krishna is accepting that Path Sarati position. No? So, last question. Is this actually in the course of the days, tomorrow, day after, you'll clearly come to know how wonderful it is to be servant of Krishna. Huh? It's a very joyful thing. It's not a treacherous thing. Huh? Is it right that every living entity has unique relationship with Krishna? And can two living entities know the relationship of each other with Krishna? Also, can two living entities have exactly the same relationship or not? Yeah, there are thousands of servants of Krishna, friends of Krishna, lovers of Krishna, and parents of Krishna. So there are 5 rasas. We will talk about it in the 3 days later. Huh? Maya is the external potency of Krishna. So can someone say that living in Maya is associating with Krishna, as Maya is also Krishna's energy. So living in Maya is good, like that he is saying. You understood his argument, no? See what he is saying. Anyway, Maya is also Krishna's energy only. So because Maya being Krishna's energy, if I'm enjoying Maya that is also Krishna consciousness only. That is the argument. It's like saying, see, government of India has 2 departments, education department, jail department. Huh? Huh? Now, jail is also in India only. Jail is also presided by Prime Minister of India. Imagine you are sitting in a college and earning an engineering degree. That one, and then being in a jail with Hathkadi in the hand. Is it the same? Imagine you're caught by the police and they put you in the jail with this. Will your parents be happy? Huh? On the other hand, you are in engineering college, you earned a degree, you show the degree to parents, they'll be happy. Huh? Although both are coming under the same government. Being with Krishna is different, being with Maya is different. Very intelligent boy, huh? Who is that? Okay, later on you will reveal who it is. So, Being under Maya's custody is like being under the police department. Being under Krishna directly is like being under the Prime Minister directly. So you want to be directly. Now there is a very beautiful panel session that is going to follow now. They will arrange the chairs now, in the chairs. So you are going to see 6-star devotees who are all big devotees from various communities across India. So you are going to hear from them. And they will all speak very briefly, short talks they will give about 6 opulence of Krishna. You can put the chairs. So I will only give you a short prelude to their presentation. In 5 minutes I will speak. After that they are going to speak. You can put the chairs. Yeah. And they can come and sit also. Call their names.